Hello and welcome to County Lines, where your life and government meet. This series is all about explaining the ins and outs of North Carolina county government. Each episode in this series will focus on a different facet of county government and give a behind-the-scenes look at the work done daily that impacts every North Carolinian. North Carolina's County Department of Elections are rolling out voting machines and gearing up for the most exciting time of the year. And it's not Thanksgiving or Christmas, but elections. North Carolina's county boards of elections conduct local elections, operate voting sites, maintain voter registration lists, and handle many other aspects of elections administration. The state board works with county boards of elections offices to ensure elections are conducted lawfully and fairly. We spoke with Sarah LaVere, Brunswick County's Director of Elections, to learn how elections are managed, protected, and how every vote is counted.
I am Sarah LaVere. I am the Director of Elections here in Brunswick County. The County Elections Department conducts all elections for all of the residents of Brunswick County. So we conduct the municipal elections, special district elections, countywide, statewide, and federal elections. All of that is performed by our office. We here in Brunswick County have a staff of 6. We have pretty specialized roles. So I have somebody that only does voter registration. I have someone that's in charge of the voting equipment. We have people that are in charge of training poll workers. So everything is really specialized in our department. We have about 125,000 registered voters. So the County Elections Department is pretty different from most county departments. We are funded by the county commissioners and the county government. We have a memorandum of understanding, so we follow the county's human resources policies, hiring policies, things like that. But we're actually governed, and the rules that we go by come from the State Board of Elections. So we have a board structure. At the county level, we have currently 5 board members, and they are representatives from each of the 2 main political parties. And then the State Board of Elections is currently 5 members. Again, they are also political party representatives. And that's where we get our governance from. So when it comes to the rules and the things that we have to do, we have a pretty thick law book, but also the State Board of Elections is where we get our guidance.
Each of North Carolina's 100 counties have a county board of elections with 5 members who are registered voters in that county.
In the office, the administrative staff, that is me and my 5 employees, I oversee the staff in the office. The County Board of Elections members, they make a recommendation for the Director of Elections. So when I was hired, they selected me, but they then had to get approval from the State Board of Elections for my hiring. They didn't get to make that decision by themselves. When it comes to the staff, the board has actually delegated that duty to me. That may not be the case in all counties. When a county board is appointed, they have to delegate which of their duties to the director that they would like to. So, they delegate to me that I create the budget for the county. They delegate to me that I test voting equipment. Some of those things in the statute are actually supposed to be the County Board of Elections. In different counties, the board members, they could be the ones who want to make the decision about the staff at the county office. But here in Brunswick County, I get to make those decisions.
While each county board of elections operates slightly different, the State Board of Elections ensure that all elections are conducted uniformly.
The State Board of Elections, they are the agency that essentially makes sure that elections in all 100 counties are happening uniformly. If you walk into a polling place in Brunswick County, you want to have the same experience and the same rights as a voter in Buncombe County. It needs to look the same. And so the State Board of Elections, they work to interpret the laws for us. They issued number memos that tell us how is a municipal election supposed to happen? How do we determine how many paper ballots to order? Just to make sure that things are happening uniformly across the state.
Elections, like many vital services to residents, are funded by counties.
So the county, their role is to provide adequate funding to the County Board of Elections to carry out its duties. The only other function the county commissioners have is to approve a voting system. So the County Board of Elections recommends a voting system, the county commissioners get to approve it. Elections are funded solely by the county, with the caveat that when we conduct elections for the towns, municipalities, special districts, we actually bill those municipalities for the election and they reimburse the county for that. So the upfront money comes from the county, but we are able to essentially submit an invoice to each of the towns for the cost of running their election.
County elections departments are unique and follow a different organizational structure than many other county departments.
I think that some people probably assume that we are just like any other county department and we have a chain of command within the county government. That's not really the case. We do have a liaison in the county. I answer to the deputy county manager, and we do have a relationship where I keep the county administration informed of what's going on in our department. But the county administration, by statute, really does not have governance over what happens in our department. That comes from my board members.
County's Department of Elections aren't just busy during election times, but throughout the year.
Common misconception is that election offices are only working when there's an election, and that could not be further from the truth. Elections these days are under more scrutiny than ever before. We have to think about things like cybersecurity, misinformation. So we are all year long working on educating the public, preparing for the next election, looking at things, taking cybersecurity trainings. We also all the time are working on voter registration. That is the one function that does not stop. Every day we're getting new registrations from the Department of Motor Vehicles, voters moving into the county. We have to clean up our lists if somebody moves away or somebody has died. That's something we do all the time.
Like county boards of commissioners meetings, many of the county departments of elections activities and meetings are open to the public.
I really wish people knew that the things that we do to run elections, almost everything is open to the public. People, especially those that aren't sure that they can trust the elections process, in the past few years that has been very common thing that we hear is that people aren't sure that elections are run in a trustworthy way. Everything's open to the public. So when we're looking at absentee ballots, that's a public meeting. People can come watch us look at those absentee envelopes. When we test our voting equipment, that's a public meeting. Voters, anyone can come watch us test the equipment. We actually also live stream all of our board meetings. We live stream the testing of equipment. That's something that came out of COVID, and we just haven't backed off of it because people actually do tune in virtually.
Get out and vote, and if you aren't registered, here's how you can change that.
The easiest way to register to vote, if you are a DMV customer in North Carolina, so you have a North Carolina driver's license, part of that process, the DMV has to offer voter registration. So you would say, yes, I would love to register to vote when you go get your driver's license at your new residence. The DMV, if you're a customer, you can do a standalone voter registration application. So you don't have to pay like you're updating your license. You can do a free voter registration service through the DMV. Again, that's only if you have a North Carolina driver's license. Another easy way, you can print a form from the State Board of Elections website or your County Board of Elections website and mail that in. You can stop by your County Board of Elections and fill out a form if that's convenient. Those are the most common ways.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more episodes of County Lines featuring Parks and Recreation and Water and Sewer.